Oh, hang on.
Well, good evening and welcome to a fun-packed 2023 series of Love Not Fear.
Yay!
I'm Jack Cox, author of Love Not Fear.
Yay!
My gorgeous co-host Annie Day, author of
Orgasmic Health and your guide to feeling fabulous fast.
And we're joined by Andrew, who's written a wonderful little book called
Love. This is one that I did this is what I prepared before many years ago. But yeah, I've written one called Love. It's coming out very, very soon. It should be with you all in your possession by Valentine's Day.
Brilliant.
Woo woo, great timing. All you need is love.
Love is all you need.
All you need is love. Da, 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 da. All you need
is love.
Love.
Love is all you
need.
Hey, we did the backing and everything, Andrew. Woo!
So anybody who wants to come on the live recordings, you get a chance to plug your books.
Yes, indeedy.
Now, there's a bit of an incentive for you. So tonight we're going to be talking about affirmations and goal setting.
Yeah.
We spoke a little bit about this last year in our show, and I'll put a link to that below, so if you want more information. I'm just going to read a little bit. Now, I mean, we talk a lot about success, yeah? And success means different things to different people.
Absolutely.
I mean, to some people, it means making a lot of money. And
some of us, it doesn't mean making a lot of money. It means making a lot of smiles.
And to me, at one time, it meant making a lot of money, and I made a lot of money. And then my priorities in life changed. But before, while I was still making a lot of money, I wrote a course which I put online. And what I will put a link to that below. The information is still valid, even though my personal priorities have changed. And what I'm about to read is an excerpt from that course. If you want to, if you don't need to sign up for it, you don't need to pay for it. You just go online and just read it. You're in your own time. You don't have to give me your email address or anything. And if you get something out of it, brilliant. And if you think it's a load of BS, then that's fine too. I'm not here trying to convince
Jack Cox, wash your mouth out. It could not be BS if you wrote it. Come on now.
I'm not here trying to convince anybody of anything. But success to me now, it means finding a better way for us all to live together.
Yeah.
In cooperation, without money, helping each other on a don't pay me back, pay it forward basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is success.
Yeah.
I don't need tons and tons of bunts. And
Yeah.
some of you will turn around and say, well, he's lost all his money, so he would say that, wouldn't he? And that's fine. If that's your attitude you want to take to it, that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to convince you of anything. So
but maybe the people who are very enlightened that watch it either live or they watch it on YouTube, I don't think that would be their perspective, because they wouldn't be interested in Love Not Fear radio show, would they?
Absolutely.
If that was their perspective. That's what I think anyway.
So I'm just going to read a short excerpt from this course that I wrote 15, 20 years ago. And I'm going to kick off with a quote from Venice Bloodworth, who wrote Key to Yourself back in 1952. The majority of people are drifting on the high seas of life. No chart marks their destination. No rudder holds a course. They are at the mercy of the winds of change, the rocks of doubt, the shoals of ignorance. And if they make some progress before the curtain falls, it is because they have used unconsciously the creative power, which is the birthright of every individual.
Indeed.
And we can use that birthright to create whatever we want. So I'm just reading from my notes here. It's a sad fact that in Western society, most people are walking around in a daze. We are like nations of sleepwalkers. We chatter all through meal times and never taste our food. We rush to and from work and never see the trees or smell the flowers. The pace of life is so fast that we never stop to think constructively about anything, or even to be aware that we are thinking. Everyone has a voice in their head. Do you ever stop to listen to what yours is saying? Actually, we have several voices. One in particular, the voice of intuition, is very useful.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we need to train ourselves to hear that one above the much louder one we are more familiar with. This more dominant voice, the one I call the drunken monkey. I've mentioned that before.
I love your drunken monkey. I think that's a great analogy, Jack, because it's very visual as well. Everybody can imagine what a drunken monkey would look like and be doing. So yes, I've stolen that, Jack. I've stolen that saying of the drunken monkey.
Well, you're very welcome to it. I probably looked it myself, but I can't remember who from after all these years. The drunken monkey is gibbering away all kinds of nonsense all day long.
Yep.
It's talking rubbish, so we don't take much notice of it. We just let it ramble on and on and on and on. That's a shame, really, because it's the handles of our motorbike. That's right. We're racing down the road of life, wheels on fire. But we
riding down the road.
Oh yeah, you like that song too.
Sorry, I distracted you.
We are not holding on to the handlebars. It's unbelievable, but sadly true. The handlebars are lurching all over the place like a drunken monkey. And we're lying in the gutter, battered and bruised, with the bike on top of us. And then we go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like, don't know where that happened, mate. Our job in life is really quite simple. It's to decide where we want to go, grab tight hold of the handlebars, our mind, our drunken monkey, our own self-talk, and to drive ourselves there. I said our self-talk is like the handlebars of our motorbike, and so it is. But then let's consider a different analogy. Instead of handlebars and bikes, think about control sticks and aeroplanes. The reason for using this analogy is that aeroplanes have something bikes don't. They have computers. To fly from London to Geneva, the pilot must first program his computer for that particular journey. Otherwise, he could just as well end up in Berlin with loads of very, very angry passengers. It's exactly the same for you and me. If we want to fly to big house, fast car, sexy partner land, then we need to program our onboard computer to take us to big house, fast car, sexy partner land, and not to work all day in a stinky factory, get home too tired and too broke for sexy partner land.
I like the idea of sexy partner land, Jack. That's very appealing to me right now.
I thought you might enjoy that one, Annie.
I don't know why you think that, Jack.
We know your interest in life. And why not, indeed? Perfectly good.
Bloody lootly. Sex and drugs and rock and roll, baby.
Yeah, it's all my brain and body needs. And
or any other form of dancing, come to that.
Two of the main tools we use to program our own onboard computer, our own brain, are self-talk and affirmations.
Yeah.
What, for want of a better... So I've lost my place. What, for want of a better word, we call the subconscious or unconscious mind, I
Yeah.
tend to use the terms interchangeably,
Yeah, me too.
is a very obedient servant. In the movie The Secret, which many of you may have seen, which is now available to stream on Prime Video, they use an analogy of Aladdin's lamp and the genie.
Yay!
Your wish is my command, says the genie, your subconscious mind. He's a very obedient genie, but unfortunately he's not too bright. He can't tell the difference between you and your drunken monkey and would carry out orders of either just as happily. Also, he's no idea when you mean it and when you're just kidding. He's not
Or when you're just imagining it and when it's a physical reality.
Yeah, when you're thinking about what you want or you don't want, he doesn't know.
Loads of emotion, and it goes, oh, it must be here already.
Yeah. He would carry out both sets of instructions just as readily. And he's not very quick either, and that can be a blessing. He can't keep up with the many thousands of commands that you send him each day. He just concentrates on the things you keep nagging him about the most, and with the most feeling.
Indeed.
Feeling is the key to all of this, not just words.
And where your thoughts go, energy flows. So whatever you keep thinking about is where the energy is going to go from manifesting your dreams into reality.
That's right. If you tell your genie 100 times a day, oh, I hate my bloody life, I hate my body, I hate my job, or wish I was dead, then believe me, he will very, very happily oblige.
Be obedient. Indeed.
So whenever you start thinking such thoughts, any negative thoughts, stop immediately.
Yeah.
But you can't just think nothing. So quickly replace that thought with a positive one. I love my life. I love my life. I have a strong and sexy body. I have a fantastically satisfying and rewarding career. I am living a long and happy life.
Yay! I am perfect, whole and complete, exactly as I am.
Yeah, I'm sure Annie's going to have a whole load of wonderful affirmations for us a bit later on.
And I use them every day on myself and
my
patients, my students, anybody who's daft enough to talk to me in supermarkets or anywhere else. I'll just share these lovely affirmations.
Yeah, every day, all the time, and do it with feeling.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? Putting really strong emotion in, putting loads of passion into it, putting loads of fun into it, and spontaneous joy. And that's how we get what we want, not what we don't want.
And a bit later on, Annie's going to be telling us how to add havening into it so that we...
Yay! Well done, Jack, you've remembered. Woohoo!
So now you said your very first affirmation.
Yeah.
It's important to keep your affirmations in the present tense. If you say, I am attracting, then your genie will obey you and you will always be attracting and never having.
Yeah.
Don't forget, he's a nice genie. He's doing everything you ask him.
Yay!
But he does like a thank you now and again.
Indeed. Gratitude's the key.
Gratitude is another cornerstone of how all this works.
Massively so, isn't it?
You must be happy and grateful for everything your genie is doing for you.
Yep.
I like to begin my affirmations with, I am so happy and grateful that.
Yeah.
Really feeling the happiness and the gratitude.
Yeah.
This is so important. People miss this bit.
Yeah.
I think all they've got to do is say a few words in the morning, but it's not. You've got to really feel it.
Yeah. And I think what you've just started with, I am, those two words together, whatever follows that is like, it is like rubbing the genie's lamp and going, yep. I am beautiful, I am sexy, I am prosperous, I am happy, I am safe. Whatever you say after I am is very, very potent, isn't it, Jack?
Yep, they're the magic words.
They sure are, darling. Sure are.
If you don't like the things that life is showing you, change your thoughts now.
Yep.
Affirmations are a great way of doing that.
Yay.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Before we can write affirmations, we need to decide what we want.
Yep.
We need to set goals. First, let's consider some key points we need to remember as we create our goals and our goal statements, and what to do with it once we've created it. Studies have shown that only about 2% of people actually set goals and write them down. And guess what percentage of people, according to those same studies, actually achieve a high degree of success, whatever success means to them?
Yeah.
Again, it's 2%. Probably not a coincidence.
Exactly. It's obvious that it's the people who do that, set their intention with their goal setting and repeatedly affirm that it's on its way and are grateful. I tell people all the time that I say, thank you, universe, for sending me whatever it is that I was manifesting. Even if I can see no evidence that it's on its way, I say thank you. And I'm sure that's what also, you've said it already, Jack, haven't you? That gratitude is so important, isn't it?
If you can actually feel the gratitude.
Yeah.
It's so important to feel the gratitude.
Yeah.
Really, really feel it.
Yeah.
Work yourself up into a frenzy of gratitude.
Indeed.
So let's look at a few general principles of goal setting. A goal should be stated in the positive.
Yeah.
Make sure your goal is something you want rather than something that you don't want.
Indeed.
Because your genie can't tell the difference.
No, indeed.
Remember that we attract what we concentrate on the most. When we think of a thing, we make pictures in our minds about that thing.
Yeah.
As well as pictures, we also make internal sounds, tastes, feelings, and smells. All this could be summed up by saying that we make internal representations of the thing.
Yeah.
Our genie takes these internal representations as his blueprint of what to create for us, whether we're thinking of what we want or what we don't want.
Yeah.
Or of what we're afraid of. The internal representations are the same. Yeah. This is why we should always be thinking about what we do want.
Yeah.
And almost never about what we don't want.
Yeah.
Our goals should be as specific as possible.
Yeah.
Giving our unconscious mind an instruction.
Yeah.
And the more specific it is, the more our unconscious mind, infinite intelligence or whatever it is you want to call it, will know exactly what to create for us.
I think that that's sometimes why people don't get what they want and they kind of do a near miss. And I've said, you have to remember that the universe is like the best order fulfillment in the world. So if you want a pair of jeans, you wouldn't just go, oh, any old size will do for me. You want to say size 12, you want rhinestones on the pockets, you want them to be flared. You've got to give the universe as much detail to cosmically order what you want. Otherwise, it's like ordering, I don't know, from eBay, but not saying what size jeans, not saying what colour, they cannot fulfill that order if you don't give them enough detail for it, Jack, which is exactly what you're saying. And then the universe or the magic genie can fulfill your order beautifully.
Yep, absolutely. Now, as I said at the beginning of this show, I wrote this course, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. I wrote it about making money. But we can use these principles for anything, okay?
Yeah, absolutely, darling.
So, carrying on with the notes here. For instance, if you say, I want a lot of money, or I want financial abundance, you're not being specific enough.
No.
And your unconscious mind won't know how exactly to go about helping you to create it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be money. Like I say, it can be lots of different things.
Yeah, of course.
And we're just using money here as an example.
Yeah.
If, on the other hand, you say, I want to earn £100,000 or euros or dollars or whatever currency you happen to use where you live, before the 31st of December this year, you're being very specific. So always try to be as specific as you can.
Yeah.
Now, I did a course many years ago run by Bill Harris, which some of you may or may not remember.
I remember Bill Harris.
Bill Harris was in The Secret. Brilliant guy.
Yeah.
And I borrowed this from his course. I'm sure you won't mind.
No, of course he wants everybody to be as successful as possible, doesn't he? That's the whole idea of The Secret.
No, I'm giving him credit for it. So he suggests that you ask yourself the following questions. What will I see when I have it?
Yeah, that's what I've got in my notes as well.
What will I hear when I have it?
Yes, see.
What will I feel when I have it?
That's the biggie, isn't it?
How will I know when I have it?
Yay! Because I'll be so excited.
What is the evidence that tells me that I've achieved my goal?
Yeah.
If you don't know what it looks like to be where you want to be, you won't know when you get there. If you're driving to Southampton, you'll know you're there because you'll see a road sign saying, "Welcome to Southampton."
Indeed.
What will achieving this goal get me or allow me to do? What will the rewards be? List them.
Yeah.
This is very much about what Marion Bevington goes on about knowing your why.
Yeah.
You must know why you want it, what it's going to do for you.
And how you'll feel when it's there in front of you in this present moment.
Absolutely. That's the most important thing.
Isn't it?
It's
Definitely.
the feeling. None of this stuff out here really exists.
No.
It's just what the Buddhists call the Maya.
Yeah.
Everything that really exists is what you feel.
Yeah, exactly, Jack. 100%. 100%.
Ask yourself whether this goal is something that you have the power to influence. You know, a lot of people want to win the lottery, and you may come up with all kinds of quantum physics reasons why you may have influence over that. But you ask yourself whether you really think you do have influence over it, or whether it's just a random event. If you don't have any influence on it, then there's no point in investing energy into it.
I guess that if you really wanted to do let's say, a humanitarian project, you would need some casherola, wouldn't you, really? So I guess that if you can envision this humanitarian project where you're healing people, where people are growing their own food, where we're living off grid, if you can put, again, as you said earlier, if you can put enough detail in, then I think you probably could influence the lottery, because the universe goes, oh, well, if Jack's put so much detail into it, we best let him have the dosh to go with it then.
Yeah, I think this is very much about knowing your why. If you know what you want to do, why you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
But you don't tell the universe how to give you the money.
No, you just go, thank you for giving me blah, blah.
And you keep an open mind as to how that money is going to come.
Yeah.
If you limit the universe by saying it's got to come from the lottery, then you're closing down your options. You're closing down your chances.
We talked about this when we were doing manifestation, didn't we? That vision boards or manifestation wheels, however we want to term it. But basically, I always put, and I always recommend other people do, for this or something better, bring it on.
Oh, yeah.
Because again, you've just said it, haven't you, Jack? You don't want to limit yourself with small thoughts. You really want to dream big and to have it all, basically.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ask yourself where you want to do it.
Yeah.
When do I want it? Every goal needs to have a time limit.
Yeah.
This is necessary for the same reason that you want to be specific.
Yeah.
If your unconscious mind doesn't have a deadline, it won't know how quickly to make things happen for you.
Yeah. It won't know the delivery date, will it?
No. With whom do you want it? Not all of these questions make sense for every goal, of course. But there's some things you want to do with other people.
Indeedy.
What resources will I need in order to achieve my goal? It's important just to know that. And then you can include those resources in other goals that you write.
Yeah.
Which of these resources do I already have? I mean,
Yeah.
write it down. Actually, make a list. People do it in their heads, but when you actually start to write it down,
Yeah.
solidify.
And I'm bonkers about colour. I really love colour. So I've got on my desk, I've got enough of them that you can see, but I've got loads of highlighters and felts. And what I do is, I think it's called brainstorming. So I put me in the middle, this great idea I've had, and then I do like lines going out from it, going, I need to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. But every aspect of it, I put in a different colour, because I really think the more detail and the more aspects we're adding to it, the better it is. And plus, I am a little kid. I'm a 6-year-old let loose in an adult body, basically. So a bit of colouring in is always good for me.
Absolutely, Annie. There's nothing wrong with that.
There isn't. Joyful spontaneity.
If you make a game out of it, you make it fun.
Yeah, exactly. That spontaneous energy is very, very potent.
If this stuff is a chore, it's not going to work. You've got to make it fun.
No, absolutely. 100% agree, darling.
Of course, asking these questions has the added benefit that it forces you to think about what you want.
Absolutely.
To focus your mind on your goals, to make internal representations of what you want.
Yeah, yeah.
This is what people who achieve what they want do. The whole thinking process involves asking themselves questions like these, all of which involves focusing on some aspect of the goal. You really need to become obsessed with this.
Yeah, that energy and our thoughts need to be working all the time, don't they?
In answering these questions, your unconscious mind will already be starting to figure out how to get what you want. This stuff isn't magic. You're programming your mind to create things. It's not magic. It's the way the mind works.
Yeah, it's quantum physics, isn't it?
Now let's write out our goal statement. It should include exactly what you want, as specific as you can make it. List exactly what you intend to give in return for it.
Yeah.
This will include what you're willing to do, what qualities you're willing to adopt, what you're willing to give up, what services you're willing to provide to other people.
Yeah.
What was it Zig Ziglar said? I think it was Zig Ziglar. To get what you want, you must help as many other people as possible to get what they want.
Yeah, absolutely. Smart man, wasn't he? Smart man.
The third thing your goal statement should include is the maximum amount of time you're allowing for the achievement of the goal.
Yeah.
But why bother working all this stuff out and writing it all down?
Because it doesn't work otherwise. You can't do a cosmic order without putting the right details in.
Yeah. Well, for one thing, that's what successful people actually do. Success leaves clues. And this is one of the clues it leaves. So why reinvent the wheel when you can model successful people that adopt their strategies?
Absolutely, darling.
But there are more reasons than just blindly copying what somebody else has done. One reason is that by doing this, you gain tremendous clarity about what you want and where you want to go. I found that without this clarity, it's difficult to accomplish anything. What's more, we're acknowledging in writing that we're willing to pay the price. We're making a contract with the universe.
Yeah. Your Friday show's called Co-Creating the New Earth, isn't it? And that's exactly what we're doing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all a co-creation with the universe.
Yay!
I mean, we are fractals of the universe, fractals of God, if you like.
Indeed.
So
we've said
we're
it
not
so many times.
We're not separate. And we're not subordinate either, which religions have been trying to tell us for far too long.
No, we are a fractal of the divine for sure, Jack. Absolutely, certainly.
We're actually writing down our goals. We're involving our visual representational system. As we write, we're also seeing the writing. And we're making internal representations of the goal in our head. We're involving auditory digital, which is self-talk. It's a fancy word for self-talk.
Yeah.
Since as we write and read our statement later on, we'll be saying the words out loud.
Yeah.
Or at least in our head, but preferably out loud.
I think as well, Jack, I don't know what you feel about this, but actually including other people and saying, this is my dream, that I want a holistic therapy centre that does all sorts of different treatments, does all sorts of different training. And again, it would be paid forward system. I think the more people we tell about it, the more energy it gives it.
Yeah, there's two lines of thought about that. Some people think that what you've just said, and other people think that by telling other people, they're jinxing it. Because they're inviting other.
My experience, to be honest, the more people I've told, the more people have got really excited and gone, oh yeah, let's do that.
I think it depends who you depends who you open up to.
Yeah.
If you open up to positive people, then it will have the effect that you're mentioning, Annie.
Well, hopefully our friends and our family would be like that, wouldn't they? Otherwise, we wouldn't be telling them.
If you mention it to wetnicks, then they're going to take a different attitude and say, oh, you can't have that. Why do you think you should get that and I don't get that? And, So, be careful who you tell. But yeah, tell the right people.
Don't tell the drunken monkeys.
Yeah. And thirdly, we're involving our kinesthetic representation.
Cosmic ordering, Andrew's just shared, written and copyright 2006.
He's done what?
It said, from Andrew, let me read it again. Let me just go back to the comments, darling. It said, he who dares that wins. So be specific, know your aim, believe it will all work out. See yourself 10 years from now. Where will you be without your doubts? Who can see your message?
Do you want to unmute yourself, Andrew?
Would you like me to read it?
Yeah.
Yes, Andrew would.
So it just so happens to be in the book, Keep Moving On, from 2006.
I mean, we're very lucky to have Andrew with us tonight because he's a brilliant life coach and he can actually help you achieve these things.
The words cosmic ordering was said. Annie said the words cosmic ordering, and it's a book that I read back in 2006.
And life-changing.
This is my take on it, my poetic take on it. Faith and cosmic ordering seem alike to me. You need to have belief to experience certainty. Your drive and determination start the process of a leap into the unknown. They make those who know you scoff. They may believe you flip your lid, you're finally out of your tree, but when what you want is in your life, then they'll know you're not deceived. To be assured of the outcome before the process begin seems presumptuous, but nevertheless, it's he who dares that wins. So So be specific, know your aim, believe it will all work out. See yourself 10 years from now. Where will you be without your doubts?
Yay!
Absolutely.
Beautiful, Andrew.
Brilliant. I will put Andrew's details below if anybody wants to work with him. Now, you've got something special going on at the moment, haven't you, Andrew? A competition or something?
Yes, sir. I've actually put it into Love Not Fear. There's a recording. I've been working all day on an edit of my appearance on the Chris James radio show last night. It was actually recorded on Sunday and then it was put out live last evening. So it's a competition where I am offering a free life coaching course, 13 sessions over either 13 weeks or over 6 months if you do it every fortnight. And it's the New Insights course where I was a master coach. I was somebody coaching people who wanted to be coaches. So if you'd like to go to Love Not Fear, the group, there's a link there. You can listen to the show and you can hear exactly what's involved there.
Wow.
Right, but for people who don't have access to that, do you want to say just very quickly how they take part in this competition?
So yeah, all I need you to do is to write to me. The first thing, because it was a radio show, I was playing 8 songs from 1973 when I was 16. And I was saying that when you're in that formative stage of your life, 16, 17, 18, the songs that we hear back then can become like lifelong backing track to your life.
Yeah.
And they are significant. So I'd like, first of all, for you to have to write down for me 3 songs from that period of your life where the lyrics still speak to you today, and then to write 2 or 3 sentences as to why I should coach you. What is it about you that makes it interesting for me to want to coach you? Yeah. And the email address that you need to write to is 57, that's the year I was born, 57 perception, PERCEPTION, 57perception@gmail.com. And thank you so much for letting me share that.
No, it sounds like a great idea, Andrew. Well done.
Is there a cut-off date, Andrew?
I think the reason why I decided to do it, I've been sharing my daily insights, my thought for the day on the Chris James radio show since about May of last year. I thought everybody's going to be thinking about goals and New Year's resolutions at this point. If I don't get in now, I'm never going to get in. So it's the 10th of January today. I think probably by a week on Sunday evening, that's going to be the last possible date for entry. I don't know where that takes us to. I'm just looking at the calendar. So Sunday, the 22nd, that will be the last day that I'm going to have a look at the entries.
Right, so Sunday the 22nd of January 2023 is the cutoff.
Exactly that, yes.
Brilliant. I hope you get lots of entries, Andrew.
Thank you very much indeed.
I'm sure you will.
Now, Annie, have you got loads of stuff for us?
I have, surprisingly, some of which I'm not going to say because it would just be duplication for the sake of duplication. So, have you ever thought about what you would like to be doing in 5 years' time? Are you clear about what your main objectives at work are at the moment, or whatever your project is? Do you know what you want to have achieved by the end of today? That's what I do. When I wake up in the morning, first of all, I say thank you to the universe for me being awake this morning, but then I start planning all the beautiful things that are going to happen throughout the day. So if you want to succeed, you need to set goals. So you've already said all this. Without goals, you may lack focus and direction. And, you know, as I said earlier, you can't cosmically order what you want if you don't give the universe enough detail. It's as simple as that. They can't fulfill your cosmic order without the details.
No.
If you think that succeeding is having £1 million in the bank, that is the only proof of success. Is one of your goals to amass riches. It's not what we're about, is it? But if your goal is to practice acts of charity, then keeping the money for yourself is suddenly contrary to how you would define success. But again, as I said earlier, we might need money to set our beautiful creation up.
Yeah, I mean, one of the dilemmas I'm stuck with at the moment is trying to create a no money society within a money orientated society.
Yeah, we're in a transitionary phase, aren't we, Jack, at the moment? So, yeah, but we'll do it. We'll do it. I have every faith. To accomplish your goals, however, you need to know how to set them. You can't simply say, I want whatever it is and expect it to happen. Goal setting is a process that starts with careful consideration of what you want to achieve and ends with some hard work to actually get it done. In between, there are some well-defined steps that transcend the specifics of each goal. Knowing these steps will allow you to formulate goals that you can accomplish. So I've talked about Esther and Jerry Hicks in the past.
Yeah.
I've got a perpetual calendar of theirs. All of their stuff is saying that we are in charge of what happens in the present moment. And Viktor Frankl, who was a Holocaust survivor, says in his book that anything can be taken away from you except your positivity. That even in the worst, most tragic circumstances, you can still be the best version of yourself. You can still smile. You can still choose to be positive in this present moment. So if he can do it, I'm sure we can, really.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
My personal viewpoint is of so-called goal setting is to do targeted manifesting. I set up a vision board and imagine as I'm creating it what it will feel like when I've got it. Make it real by adding lots of colour, lots of emotion. I always add the phrase as well, as I've already said earlier, for this or something better. Bring it on.
Bring it on.
I'm now going to talk about my vision at the summer solstice of visiting my family abroad.
Right.
So I was in the garden at Heaven Sent Bliss, and I literally pictured me getting on board the plane, having a direct flight to Dubai, and then my family greeting me at the other end, my little grandson being really excited at seeing me, my son giving me loads of hugs, my daughter-in-law, and then seeing us at the dinner table as a family, just having loads of fun, seeing us on the beach. But again, Jack, all that lovely emotion, and I could feel it. It was really, really, really tangible. So obviously it's worked. And I did say, for this or something better, bring it on. And also I did say that I'm really grateful that this is already coming to pass, even if though in June there was no evidence that I could actually do this. So I'm delighted to say on March the 21st, I am flying out to Dubai on a direct flight from Birmingham Airport to visit my lovely family.
Way.
And I'm coming back 2 weeks later on April the 4th. So I am very, very excited. But I wanted to use that as an example because the excitement I felt and all the different things I was imagining have made this come to pass. So I do know it works, and I know that people have laughed at me in the past and said, no, it's never going to work because it's too big a goal. My dad told me a long time ago, unless your dream scares you, it's not big enough. It's got to be a really
You've got to dream big.
You've got to dream big, haven't you? So set specific goals. You must be clear. It must be clear and well defined. Set measurable goals. You've already said this already. Include precise amounts, dates, and so on in your goals so you can measure your degree of success. So 2 pages over at once. I do use some other books as well. So I use Louise Hay's Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. No, I use Suzanne Jeffers' Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway.
Yeah.
I read this in 1998 and it was life-changing. One of the affirmations that's helped me most is, she says, you've already survived 100% of your bad days.
Absolutely.
You've already survived 100% of your bad days, because our biggest fear is not the things that we think we're fearful of. We're scared we can't cope with this. So I say every day, whatever happens, I'll handle it. Whatever happens, I will handle it.
Absolutely. You always have and you always will.
Yeah. But our biggest fear, people think it's all sorts of other things, but it's not. Our biggest fear is that we won't be able to cope with whatever tragedy, heartbreak comes along. And actually, whatever happens, I will handle it. And I always have done. We're all the same. So it's just a really good reminder. But I love Suzanne Jeffers, because literally she walks the talk. And the other book that I want to recommend, I'm sure Andrew's very, very shocked that I've got books to share. But Louise Hay wrote a book, and it's called, what's it called? It's called You Can Heal Your Life. Yeah. So she was dying of cancer, and by changing her diet but doing regular affirmations saying that her body was healthy, she actually overcame ovarian and breast cancer, and is a shining example of how great you can look when you're really drinking good quality water, eating organic food, but also doing daily and moment by moment affirmations. So I would recommend You Can Heal Your Life as well. It's got some amazing affirmations in. It's been helpful to me as a therapist as well, because let's say somebody came with backache, and it's chronic. Sometimes I'll look at what she says you're thinking about to cause that backache, and what the affirmation is to release it. So as well as doing the physical, natural therapy stuff, you know, she suggests that you say these affirmations, and they're all, again, in the positive, in the present moment, because sometimes people go, I'm going to have that next week or whatever. That's rubbish. You need to be saying, I am having this now. So one of the things that I say is, we've talked about I am being a really, really positive word, but also so things like I have the ideal relationship now, I have perfect health now, because we're telling the universe that we know that's the case. So set attainable goals, make sure that it's possible to achieve your goals, dream big. And if it doesn't scare you, dream bigger. Yeah, absolutely. Set relevant goals and ones that make your heart sing. If your heart isn't in this, then it's futile for you to be trying to do. It's got to be something that makes you feel, that makes your heart sing and makes you feel really excited when you think about having this thing. Set time-bound goals. Remember, you are the co-creator of your amazing life. Remember to say, even when everything looks like it's really, really horrible, there is a blessing in every disaster. That's my personal belief. But there is definitely a blessing in every disaster. And why did you learn from it? Yes, exactly. So out of this situation, I say, out of this situation, only good will come. Out of this situation, only good will come. Yeah. So do affirmations to bring your dreams into reality. Even if you cannot see any evidence that they are on their way, say thank you. Then I've highlighted some of the affirmations that I thought would be really good. So I am going to aim to go a little bit further back. I keep forgetting that this mat gets in the way of my wheel. Right, little mat. Move this over there. Okay. So just to refresh everybody's memory, the first move in havening to really lock those affirmations in is to start with your hands on your shoulders, and you're going to do a lovely, slow, soporific hug. And then you're going to stroke the inside of your hands, and then you're going to stroke the sides of your face. So this is the havening moves. So these are the ones that I thought might be really useful for us, and they're very short ones, so they're not difficult to remember. So I thought the first one we'd do is I'm a magnet for prosperity and abundance. Because once we've got prosperity and abundance, it means that heaven sent bliss will be here next week and the week after and the week after that. So that's my rationale for saying this.
Yep.
We're going to say the affirmation 3 times while we do our 3 havening moves. I'm a magnet for prosperity and abundance.
I am a magnet for prosperity and abundance.
I'm a magnet for prosperity and abundance. I'm a magnet for prosperity and abundance. It does actually feel really nice to be touching yourself in that way. And then I thought everything I touch is successful, because then it's every aspect of our lives, isn't it? So everything I touch is successful. Everything I touch is successful. Everything I touch is successful. And then everything I touch turns to gold. We all know what gold kind of represents. So it's, you know, it's that getting everything you want. So everything I touch turns to gold. Everything I touch turns to gold. Everything I touch turns to gold. And then I thought we could affirm this next one. Life supports me in every way. Again, we're saying that the universe has got our back, aren't we? In a different way. So life supports me in every way. Life supports me in every way. Life supports me in every way. And then I thought we'd do, sometimes the reason that we don't get what we want is because we don't feel deserving. So that's why I've chosen this one. I deserve the best and I accept the best now. I deserve the best and I accept the best now. I deserve the best and I accept the best now. I deserve the best and I accept the best now. And then there's more. There's more, Jack.
And there's more.
I can't remember who that comedian was, but he goes, there's more, there's more. So I have the perfect relationship now. 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 And then I thought we'd do some gratitude. We've talked about this particular affirmation in the past. Thank you for all I have, all I've had, and all I will have. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to say thank you to the universe, acknowledging that the universe has always given us what we needed in the past, in the present moment, and it's so it will happen in the future. So thank you for all I have, all I've had, and all I will have. Thank you for all I have, all I've had, and all I will have. Thank you for all I have, all I've had, and all I will have. And then I thought, again, it's similar to, you know, feel the fear and do it anyway, but it's all is well in my world and all is in divine and perfect order. All is well in my world and all is in divine and perfect order. All is well in my world, and all is in divine and perfect order. All is well in my world, and all is in divine and perfect order. So again, yes, remember, so I had a massive flood on Friday at 4:30. So there was a torrential avalanche of water coming from underneath my bathroom sink.
Oh no.
Being the Girl Scout that I am, I managed to turn the stopcock off, but by then it had already got as far as my hall.
Oh.
So I phoned my landlord, and the man came out and isolated the isolated the cold tap in the bathroom and said he'd come back on Monday. And while he was here, one of my patients turned up, and I said, do you know what? This is a massive blessing, because I'd literally come in from visiting my son. If I'd have been out, Jack, that flood would have gone into my bedroom, my treatment room, my lounge, everywhere. If I'd been out doing palliative care treatments, the same thing. If I'd have been out, I don't know, running errands, getting shopping, this could have been really catastrophic. So this plumber said, oh, I like what you're saying, that even this, as shitty as it is still a blessing. Yeah. And then he went, why have you got that fancy machine, that water machine? I said, because there are so many toxins in our water. And then David chimed in by saying, if you don't want to have man boobs, you need to come off tap water, because it's got females' hormones in the water. So as a result of this catastrophe, this man who came back on Monday has bought a filter jug that takes out female hormones and chlorine and fluoride. And he's looking at, he said, is she always like this, to David? And he said, yeah, Annie always finds the blessing in everything. So I think, again, we can be, I don't know, role models for doing the right thing for ourselves. And again, manifesting what we want, not what we don't want. Because I could have made a big production out of this happening. But actually, straight away, once I'd managed to hurt my wrist turning the stopcock off. So the plumber as well has put WD-40 on. So should anything like that happen again in the future, I'll be able to turn the stopcock off really easy. But he was saying what a pleasure it was to come here and to learn all this funky stuff. So there is a blessing in everything, however horrid and scary it is at the time.
Absolutely, Annie. This is why I always say that I'm so grateful to all the people who taught me my hardest lessons.
Same. Absolutely, darling. Absolutely. They broke my heart so I could learn some really important lessons. And we don't grow and develop unless we have some heartbreaking lessons going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is from Andrew. Session 1 goals, the building blocks of success. Session 2, resources and milestones. I think that's it. Thank you, Andrew.
Those are the 13 sessions of the course.
I only read 2.
I know.
Look, do you want to tell us all 13, Andrew?
So number 1, goals, the building blocks of success. That's usually the longest session because you're building the foundations for what you're going to be doing.
Of course, yeah.
But then session 2 is resources and milestones, essential stepping stones to your goals. So you break the big goal into mini goals and then into action steps. You look at what Jack said at the beginning, you look at the resources that you have and the resources that you need to find to be able to get to the goal. Session 3, motivation, how your beliefs move you closer to success, and also your beliefs move you away from success. So it really does matter what you believe. And then in session 4, we look at how you can break down your negative beliefs and rebuild positive beliefs. Session 5, values, adopting a value structure for ultimate success. People have got values that don't even know where they came from. So it's a matter of examining what are our values and then saying whether they are working for us or not. And the same thing on session 6 with rules: uncover your hidden rules and always feel good. So if you've got a rule that says I've got to have A, B, C, D, and E before I can be happy, you're on a hiding to nothing. But if you have a rule that says every day above ground is a great day, then instead of saying good Lord morning, you say good morning Lord, then you'd be all right. Session 7, 6 human needs. Which ones do you need met? So we go through the 6 human needs, what they are, and how to get your human needs met. Session 8, projection. So
is that like, I know I'm interrupting. So is that like Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
It is, yes.
Yeah, I thought it might.
So session 8 is projection. All communication is projection. Every time somebody speaks to you, every time you speak to somebody else, you think it's a conversation, but actually what you're doing is you're putting your view out into the world, and it can affect people in a good or a bad way. So we look at projection. Session 9, responsibility, the foundation for freedom. So responsibility is your ability to respond, because life throws curveballs at you all the time.
Absolutely,
so
darling.
What is the way to respond in your life, to take control of your response, the ability to respond? Session 10 is questions, and they're the answer to everything. And depending on the questions that you ask, you might get the answers that you don't want. So you've got to ask the right questions to get the right answers. Absolutely. Session 11, we're nearly there. Session 11, long-term goals. What do you really love to do? So in what happens normally with this course is, as we're going through it, people realize that those goals that they thought were unachievable, they've actually achieved quite early, which is a bit of a shock. It was to me anyway. And then it's like, well, what do you really want out of your life? Because now you realize that the world's your lobster, and you can actually get out there and have whatever you want. So what do you really want out of your life? And we look at 3-year, 5-year, 10-year goals. Then on session 12, we look at purpose, the true meaning of life. That's where I love to focus. All the way through the course, it's tailored by me to fit your circumstances. So it's not a one size fits all. It's what does our conversation bring out, and what do I see that I can help you personally with? But at the end of it, and all the way through it, in my mind, it's what's the purpose of this life? I've been blessed to be in this one-on-one conversation with this life. What is the purpose of this life? How can I aid that person to get to where they're divinely appointed to be? And then finally, session 13 is we go back through all the notes that I've made, hopefully the notes that the clients made, and we have a celebration, have a bit of a knees up and say, look how far we've come.
Yeah,
that's brilliant, Andrew.
That sounds wonderful, Andrew.
I think that's the quickest I've ever said it.
Well done, mate.
No, I think that sounds like a really interesting course.
It does indeed. And,
So
it fits in with this beautifully, doesn't it?
So anybody who wants to take that course with Andrew, I will put all the details below in the description.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to add, Andrew, before we close?
Well, I said, if you listen back to the radio broadcast, I don't want people to have New Year's resolutions. Most people give up by the first week in February.
Yeah, we need to do daily resolutions.
Well, that would help. But the way I suggested that we do it is that we have a New Year's revolution. We actually,
nice.
not like the revolution that the drunken, unkempt and smelly person on the aircraft said to Dr. Billy Graham. He said, I love your sermons. They've turned me round 360 degrees. Well, that means he's facing the same way as he was before. I want to do a half revolution. I want to turn you round and make you face the direction which is of your choosing, not the choosing of all the people who've pre-programmed your mind And so I call it a New Year's revolution, because it will change your life. You know, be prepared. If you send in your entry for my competition, be prepared to, oh, he's not like he used to be, is he? You've changed, haven't you? What's happened to you? Be ready for that, but be ready for getting what you want out of your life.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I guess a lot of what you'll be doing is letting go, or explain to people that some of this is old childhood conditioning. You go,
I tend not to go back.
Whose rule is that then? I say to my patients, whose rule's that then? And they go, well, I don't know. I think that was my mum's rule. I think that was my granny's rule. I think that was the teacher's rule.
And it might have worked for them, but is it working for you? That's the question. If it's working for you, keep it. Yeah. I don't want to destroy everything for the sake of it, but if it ain't working, why are you still doing it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I always tell people that if they watch what they do with awareness, there comes a point where they can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
It's a case of what was it Jung said? When you make the unconscious conscious.
Yeah.
Or if you did what Jung said, wasn't it? He said it the other way around. If you don't until you make the unconscious conscious, it will continue to direct your life, and you would call it fate.
Yeah, and that's what the course does. It allows people to examine their modus operandi, the way that they work, and they've never done that before. They've never actually looked at why they do the things that they do. They know that they do them. Well, sometimes they don't even know that they're doing them, but most people understand, well, that's I've always been told that. Well, is it working? You know, because if it's working, great. But if it's not,
and if it's not, change it.
Beliefs, rules, and values. Get some new ones if the ones that you have got that aren't working. And then if you've got in the goals that we usually work on 3 goals in the course, but at the end of completing those 3 goals, the beliefs and the rules and the values that we've had for achieving those goals, they might not work for the next set of goals. So you need to be able to know how to disempower the old ones and bring in some new ones that will work.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Andrew.
Brilliant. Right. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah. So thank you to Andrew. Thank you to the lovely Jack Cox, my co-host. And thank you to all the lovely people who are going to be watching this on YouTube later on. And thank you to the universe for helping us to manifest all our dreams into reality.
Yeah, thanks, Annie. And thank you, Andrew, very much for all your contributions. Just to say that we'll be back doing this Mondays from now on. The fact that we're doing this on a Tuesday is just a one-off. We'll be back to our normal Monday schedule as of next week.
Yeah.
If you're watching this on YouTube, please do like and subscribe and hit the little bell so you get notified every time we do a new show.
Yeah.
Because we do impromptu ones occasionally that aren't scheduled.
Yeah.
Next week, I don't know what we're going to talk about next week, Annie. Any thoughts?
No.
What do you want to hear?
Answer, wasn't it? I usually do think of the content for our radio shows, but because I was late getting in, which is why I've still got my jacket and hat on, I've just concentrated on this present moment. So I will have a little think about what we could do that'd be really scrummy. And
right, so it's going to be a surprise next week, folks. So come along and be surprised.
Are you aware of Cynthia Sue Larson?
Say again?
Are you aware of Cynthia Sue Larson?
No.
She's on YouTube, and I started watching some of her videos yesterday. How to quantum jump from the periphery of your mind is the one I was watching. And I wondered whether we could do something on quantum jumping.
I don't know. Send me the links, Andrew, and I shall watch them between now and next week. And I'm sure Annie will as well. And then we can decide if we're interested.
If you send it to me, I will. If you don't, I won't. Because I watch so much stuff on Telegram and other places that I won't. Jack, can you copy that and send it to my email address, please?
Email me that after the show, Andrew, please. Right. Okay, well, let's
Right, folks.
see you all again next week.
Have a lovely week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Namaste.
Namaste.